Hi, is Denise there?
Speaking.
Hi, Denise. This is RJ Bates calling about your property there on 184th Avenue. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. So you entered this on my website saying that you were looking to sell it. Are you still looking to sell?
I am, but your thing only went up to 650, and I in reality I'd like 750 because this property already has utilities and everything for two residences. It's 5.3 acres, and it can be subdivided.
Okay. Let me write that down. So you want 750.
Yeah, and now there's a house for sale down the street that has a half acre for 1.5 million.
It's 5.3 acres and it can be subdivided.
Yes.
All right. So is there anything on the 5.3 acres?
I have a manufactured home, 1,800 square feet. I have a huge garage with an RV door and a regular car door. I have a small barn, another garage type outbuilding. There's a greenhouse. I also have I don't know what you call it, like a lean-to. We used to have emus, and so they would stay in there. I have another building that I keep my wood in, and then there's a small shed out in the front pasture.
Right.
You're in Texas.
I am.
My daughter is moving to Texas. That's why my husband was killed, and so she has a job opportunity with her job to go to San Antonio.
Well,
so we're actually driving down there next week, and I'm going to be flying back. And I can't take care of this anymore by myself. I'm not getting any younger.
well, I'm sorry about your husband. Did you say he was killed? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, he was killed on Father's Day, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
By a
jeez.
distracted driver, of course.
Oh man, that's terrible.
On his motorcycle.
Are you going to move down to Texas as well?
Well, that's my plan eventually. I'd like to buy her something down there. She's been looking at some manufactured homes near I think the town that she likes Canyon Lake, or Lake Canyon, but Schertz is where her work is opening up a facility, and she's going to be working in San Antonio and Austin.
Gotcha. All right, give me a second here. I'll pull up. Start off with just vacant land comps. See what we can find there. How old is the manufactured home?
I believe it's an 88, but we had to redo it we redid the kitchen, and it obviously needs some work. The bathrooms could probably be updated. We did it when we moved in, but since my husband's been killed, I haven't really had any, that was 35 years of my life wiped off the slate right there, so it's been pretty hard.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So you said there's a half-acre lot listed for how much?
There's a house on it.
Uh-huh.
And it's $1.5 million. But I'm on the very last road in this. It's called Maple Valley Heights. It's very private. The guy behind me has 10 acres. There's a gravel road that runs behind my property, and there's another one. Everybody around me, and the one side of my property is canyon, so there's no home.
Gotcha. All right.
And I have a pond on the property too.
So there was another manufactured home that was 1,300 square feet. It sold for 429, but it had 10% 10% of the land that you have. It only had 21,000 square feet, and it was built in 1980.
My friend sold that.
Really?
Yeah, she sold it. And I'm just not looking to do real estate. I just, I need to make a change now, especially since my daughter moving, and I feel like I'm going to go back into a serious state of depression.
Let's see if we can be a solution for you here.
But I have a lot of stuff that I have to get rid of.
So how much time would you need to get rid of that stuff?
Well, I would like to be out of here by the end of July. I mean, I haven't really done anything with my husband's things because it's extremely hard.
Right.
So I'm just I have some friends that are gonna help me, and I'm just gonna start having an estate sale and do what I have to do.
So if we came to an agreement on price and I said, okay, we could close by the end of July, would that give you enough time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Out of curiosity, not saying that you're wrong. I just want to know how you came about, because I always ask this question. How did you come up with 750?
Well, I've been doing a little investigating on what property is going, just property with no homes around here. And you can't find really much property at all around here.
Right.
When you do find it, it's not as much property as I have, and it's 200,000 for 0.27. It's expensive.
So the only thing I agree with you. The only thing that throws me for a loop is that I see these two pieces of land just north of you that sold on Valentine's Day for $450,000, and one was 448,000, and another was 1.5 million square feet. But I'm curious. It says residential. I'm almost wondering if it was like useless, like
In my neighborhood? Is it in my neighborhood?
it's directly north of you. So do you know where what is this? Lakeside Industries Inc. future location is? Right off of Maple Valley Highway?
Yes, and that's the thing. The land does not perk. Actually, there's been a couple people that have bought property up here. Now they have a fifth wheel because the land does not perk.
I see.
So there's issues. There's issues because there's two pieces of property right up here, and they have RVs on them because they can't perk them.
So would that be the same case with yours?
No, my land's fine. I mean, in reality, this is a very nice piece of property. It needs a lot of, grooming. Like I mow and weed eat as much as I can, but it's a lot of work for me. I'm just one person.
So when I'm looking at your street, I see, from Google Images, I see 184th, and then I see what looks to be, it goes down, and then there's like a little cul-de-sac.
Okay, that's down. Yeah, that's past my. So on my side of the street on 184th, my driveway is the only one on this street. On the, I say if you're going heading east, I guess maybe.
Are you the one all the way back down at the end?
I'm in the middle of 184th.
You're in the middle.
Across the street from my driveway, there's homes next to each other.
Yep.
My driveway's in the middle of the road.
I see that. Okay. So I'm actually looking at your driveway. You've got like a circle driveway.
Well, yeah, it comes down and then it circles around the front of the house.
Yep. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at. And then your land, does it run from 164th back, or does it start at your driveway?
No, it's like it's farther towards 164th.
Yep.
And then it goes to like 10 feet into the canyon and back all the way back to the vast road that is access for the guy behind me.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. Okay. All right, let's see here. Because I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, there is some land right around you, like 20,000 square feet went for $765,000.
Correct. Yes. I mean, I'm not. I mean, it kills me to have to move from here, but I know that I cannot do it by myself anymore. And I don't want my daughter, she's feeling very bad about leaving me, but I don't want her to stop her life because she's worried about me being by myself.
Right.
And, this neighborhood is so, we've lived here since she was 2 and she's 23. And I've never lost my car. I couldn't even tell you where the keys to the house are. I mean, honestly.
That's awesome.
I never have had any issues ever. And the fact that my husband used to stay in contact with the guy that actually originally bought this property and told him all about the water and the power for 2 residences here. And, but we never planned on subdividing because we just love our privacy,
Right.
It's nice not to have somebody right next to you. And in Seattle now, and you can't, your neighbor's 10 feet away. If there's a space, they build in it.
It's funny. I'm going to be in Seattle in like a month. My son is playing a travel hockey tournament in Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny. All the places in the world go, and they chose Seattle. And then the coach freaked out when he realized how expensive it was going to be for everybody.
Yeah, it's expensive here.
Yes, it's just expensive to go. I can only imagine what it's like to live there.
Yeah. So now I want to tell you. So I filed bankruptcy about, I don't know, a while ago, and I was off on disability because I have psoriatic arthritis and I couldn't use my hands or anything, and I'm a longshoreman, and I need to use my hands. So my doctor had me off work and trying all these things. So when I filed the bankruptcy, I had, $1,275 a week coming in, and then my husband's pension that I get every month. So they were basing it off of all of that, which was making my payment about $900 a week. Well, then I went back to work, and work was slow because we're in contract negotiations. So it's just now starting to pick up, but I'm behind in my bankruptcy payment. And I'm just like, I was originally going to sell before I did that. And my daughter was freaking out, but then she got this opportunity to go to Texas, and she loves it down there because she has a friend that lives in that town, and she's going to stay with her until she finds a place. So now I'm kind of like, I'm tired of worrying and stressing about everything. I can't at this point with her leaving, and I just need to have a solution for me.
Well, I'm pretty serious about it. I mean, I definitely think that we could be a solution for you. It's funny how things work out. So, this is what I do all day, right? I sit here and I call people that have reached out to us, say, hey, we need to sell, we need an offer. And the gentleman I spoke to right before you, he saw my ad, went on the website, filled it out just like you did. And I was asking him, why do you want to sell? And he's like, well, I don't need to sell. I just saw your ad and I was just curious. And I asked him how much he wanted, and he wanted exactly what his house was worth. And it's like I told him, I was like, I think you should go with a realtor because you're going to get more money from going with a realtor. I need to get off the phone with you because there's someone else that needs to talk to me today that needs my solution. And then the next person I talk to is you, and hearing your story. And it's like, with moving to San Antonio, that's something we could potentially help you with.
My mother would just be thrilled.
I mean, we've done business in San Antonio. My partner, Cassie, is a licensed realtor here in the state of Texas. So we can send you properties in San Antonio. We can find, in whatever location that you're looking for. We have lenders that can potentially help you as well with getting loans on properties, whether that's for your daughter or for you. If you want to move down here, there's all kinds of different options that we have to help you, as well as buying this land. Like you said, it's in a great location. Looks like a beautiful piece of land. Has there ever been a house on it, or has it only been the manufactured home?
This manufactured home, because it's been here.
Gotcha.
But so we've lived here for so long. I mean, all these neighbors, most of them were older. And my husband would take care of them and take their garbage out, so they didn't have to do that. And there used to be our home's on the foundation. But they tore that down, and the house they built was just crazy. It's really nice.
Right.
But, you could build 2 homes on this property.
Which is amazing. I mean.
And here's the other thing, because I did look into it quite a while back. And at first, the woman told me, well, you can only build like a 900 square foot home on the front of that property. But then she said, wait a minute. So this property is grandfather claused in. There's some grandfather clause for this property that takes that away. And you can build whatever you want on it. So this property has a grandfather clause with the city. I mean, I'm sitting here. I just can't tell you how nice it is to have this property, and I'm going to miss it extremely bad because it's so peaceful. I mean, I have deer going through here all the time, and we have the bear. Once in a while, we'll see him.
Right.
Not often, but it's just, they taken away all the empty land around here and built houses, and the deer have nowhere to go. But I have that nice big pond, so they come here and drink and eat, and yeah.
Well, let me tell you, since you're pretty serious about moving down to San Antonio.
My daughter lives down there. I still have a couple years I got to work up here, so I'm going to have to find a small place up here. I don't need anything big,
right?
You know, I'm going to have to, but I really want to buy her something down there with the proceeds after everything's paid off, to get her a place down there so she doesn't have to stress, because she is like, you know, she's just extremely stressed out about leaving me, and I don't want her to have to worry about paying or rent down there. I really like to just go down there and buy something for her and just have it be her.
If we agreed to the $750, how much would you be willing to pay for her a property?
Well, it depends on what she's like. You know what I mean? Like, I figure with everything, I think my bankruptcy and everything that I owe is like 300, and I'm just going to say 375. I know it's less than that. It's probably 330 or 320. But I want to get her something nice, and we have 6 dogs. So, you know, we need to have something that like has a fenced yard that the dogs are you know,
right,
safe, and that's another thing, because she's got to leave all her animals when we go down there, because she can't take them to where she's staying. So, I mean, I don't know how this is all going to play out in the end, but yes, I'd like to get her something down there.
Well, the reason why what I was going to say is you were talking about how peaceful it is there, and you've got the deer and stuff like that. So there's a portion between San Antonio and Austin, where we refer to that as the hill country, and it is absolutely gorgeous there. It's probably the prettiest part of Texas, to be honest with you. And I've lived there my whole life. I will gladly drive the back way from San Antonio back to Dallas-Fort Worth, just because I enjoy the drive and how pretty it is. Because you have the deer, you have the hills, you have the beautiful sunsets. You'll have the wildlife. You're not going to have the bears. Okay, we don't have bears, but it doesn't sound like you're too excited about the bears, anyways.
No. We've lived here a very long time, and my husband has seen the bear, but I never did. And then one day I was coming around the corner. Oh, there goes the deer right now. The bear ran in front of I had a Trailblazer at the time, which was quite high, and his back was above the hood of my car, and it was daytime. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I watch the dogs a little bit closer now.
Right.
I'm out at night.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's beautiful here. I've lived all my life. I grew up in West Seattle, in like the city, but that's changed so much.
Right.
And I would not move back to anything like that, even though my work is right there. So, and my whole family lives in West Seattle, but.
So, okay, I got to ask you, since you've been there your whole life, when I come, what do I have to go see?
What do you have to go see?
Or what should I go do or eat or something like that? Because, you know, everyone says you got to go do like the tourist things, like the Space Needle and stuff like that. And it's like, no. I want to know from someone that's been there. What do I need to go see?
So do you like seafood?
Yes.
Okay, so if you want really good fish and chips, you go to Alki and you go to Sunfish.
Okay.
If you want like crab and that, you go to the Crab Pot on the waterfront. Downtown Seattle on the waterfront.
The Crab Pot. Now that just sounds good. Like, you know, you're getting something good there.
They bring the food, you know, and they dump it on the table. It's on paper, and there's corn and sausage and crab, and yeah, that's really good.
That's awesome.
As far as, I mean, I mean, you can go to the Space Needle.
Is there like a cool park that's like super beautiful or something like that around there?
Well, over across the water on the ferry, there's some beautiful, beautiful parks if you want to go on the ferry.
How long does that take?
It depends on what the ferry line is, but it's half hour, not bad.
Right.
There's Golden Gate Park, which is north of Seattle, which people love that. Lincoln Park in West Seattle, that's beautiful. I mean, everybody wants to go to the Space Needle. So the waterfront's really nice. They have a lot of stuff for kids to do down there. They have the Great Wheel, and they have Soaring Over Washington, which is kind of like if you've ever been to Disneyland, Soaring Over California.
Right.
It's Soaring Over Washington.
Gotcha.
And, I mean, it's, they cleaned up the waterfront just because there's so many homeless people, but they have cleaned up the waterfront now because the cruise ships are in. And they've kind of made the waterfront more like a park setting. So then they have a trail you can walk along, and it's nice. I mean, I definitely, if you've never been to Space Needle, I would go to Space Needle.
Right.
It's like we used to go there every Saturday. And they usually have something going on at the Seattle Center every weekend. There's something going on there all the time. Lake Washington, it's nice to go over there. If it's hot, you can go. They have swimming areas, and
I'm stalling like crazy because I'm waiting on an evaluation.
They have a restaurant at the top of the hill.
Trent's sick.
Of course, there's no snow, but you ride.
He's my land guy.
Like if you were skiing, you ride the lift up to the restaurant. That's pretty.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's all. I mean, as far as restaurants, those two are good to go to. The one on Alki, and then there's all kinds of stuff on Alki. You can rent, scooters or bikes or roller skates and just Alki's always nice. I mean, I grew up there, so I love Alki. That's why out here it's like we have the Cedar River right down the hill.
Right.
So we just drive down and go to the river. But yeah, I mean, it's as long as you stay out of downtown Seattle, like the Pike Place Market, of course, that is just amazing. You can go watch them throw the fish and everything. That's always fun.
See, I think the kids would like that. I think they would think that's fun.
Oh, absolutely. And those guys are great.
Right.
But definitely go to the market, but I wouldn't go any farther into downtown Seattle because it's just not good.
Right.
It's just not good.
It's sad that it's turned into that,
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. But if you park down on the waterfront, there's stairs or an elevator that you can go up to the market, so you don't even have to park in the downtown area. You can park down on the waterfront, which is really nice, and walk up the stairs or take the elevator up.
Gotcha.
But I definitely would go to the Pike Place Market.
Pike's Place Market. All right.
Yeah, that is definitely something you have to see in Seattle. And then, the original Starbucks is in the Pike Place.
Got to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
mine small, but it's worth it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I've given enough money to Starbucks that if I'm going to be that close, I got to just go ahead and do it, right?
Amen, brother.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking about your land. There are some unknowns from our position. But the good thing is that we have time on our hands because we have about 2.5 months before you would be ready to be out of there anyways, right? Because you need until the end of July. So the unknowns that we have is, we need to check into the grandfather clause. What does that actually allow us to be able to do? What could we subdivide it into? So there's some conversations that we need to have with zoning and with the building officials and stuff like that. Also, just verifying that we would be able to build on the dirt. Not saying that we couldn't, but we have to do our due diligence just to make sure that we can. So from that perspective, I do like your deal, and I don't want to ever beat anyone up on price. So I think it really comes down to kind of like your bandwidth to be willing to work with me. Because what I essentially want to do is say, yeah, I'm good to move forward at the 750, but I do need to do some due diligence here. And if it comes back and it's like, hey, we can't do certain things, then I need you to be understanding of that. If we come back and say we can't subdivide for whatever reason, or the grandfather clause doesn't give us what we need for whatever reason, and we have to renegotiate the price, that doesn't mess you up too bad if you're kind of understanding of why we would be renegotiating. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
So if you're okay with that, then I'm willing to send you over a contract for the 750, and then we can start our due diligence and get moving in the right direction. Is that something that you would be wanting to do?
Yeah. So how does this work? You're going to send me a contract.
Yes.
And then you're going to.
So the contract would be for $750,000 cash.
Right.
And then it would have a closing date of, let me verify what date that would be. July 31st. It's a Monday, so it's perfect. We would close on July 31st, and then we would have a due diligence period in there where we could do all of our well, first and foremost, it's just as simple as placing phone calls to the zoning and to the building officials and the different people that we need to call and say, hey, we're looking at purchasing this property on 184th, and we need to understand what we have the ability to do. What can we subdivide this into? What is the grandfather clause? Different things like that. Just finding out that information, because at that point in time, then we can determine what we can actually do with the land. Does it mean we can build a house? Does it mean we can build two houses? We need to be able to determine that by talking to the powers to be at the city.
Okay. So so you're sending me this contract to sign, right?
Yes.
So so if you come back and you're only going to give me
$1.
Yeah, I'm not stuck with I could say no.
Exactly. I can't change the price without you approving it. So it's literally, if I come back to you, in which, like, full transparency, like, I don't like to do this. Okay. So I don't like to renegotiate prices. So I want to move forward because I think you're being fair with your price. The only reason that we would do that is because we can't, more than likely, we can't build two houses there. But we have to have a signed contract to be able to open title. And then also, like, I don't want to waste people's time. If I'm going to be calling them and asking them to go, do research on this property for me, I can at least say, hey, I'm under contract to buy this property. But if I were to come back and say, I can't do 750, I can only do 700,000. You have to then sign a price change addendum for that to be in effect. If you don't, then two things happens. If it's either you sign the price change and the new price is whatever we agreed to, or I have to buy the house for the original price, or I have to terminate the contract. Those are like the options. So you're not bound to anything besides what is written in that original contract, which is just me saying I'm buying it for $750,000.
Okay. In reality, to me, if someone, I mean, this in my mind, if you built a beautiful home right here where my home is, it's $1 million plus property. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, because I've had so many people after my husband died wanting to buy my property because they've been here, they know what it is, and just the privacy is the thing. I mean, you just can't get it here. You just can't get this here anymore.
Oh, I can literally hear the birds in the background while you're talking.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I think this is going to work, but I just want to be upfront with you, because you, as transparent as you've been, I want to be just as transparent and say, like, there's a lot of things that I have to do along the way to verify that my exit strategy is going to work, right? So I don't want, this is not like a cookie cutter house where you're saying, hey, give me $700,000. And it's like, okay, well, I just need to come do a walkthrough to verify that, there's 4 walls standing. It's like, we're talking about 5 acres of land, and we have to get cities involved and zoning involved and just verify that we can do what we need to do. So if you're okay with that, then what I can do is I can email you over the contract and we can start the process. I will make this promise to you. We're not going to string this out for a very long time and then tell you we can't do something. We're gonna work steadfastly to make sure that, hey, we're not putting you in a bad position. Okay.
Okay.
So what I have is your last name at yahoo.com as your email. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what I can do is write up the contract, send it over to you. It'll come through what's called Dropbox sign. Actually, do you want me to just write it right now and send it over to you?
Yeah, because I don't have to print this out or anything, right?
No, you can sign right there on your cell phone.
Okay.
All right, give me a second. Let me write this up real quick.
It's funny because I just got an email about that $1.5 million house down the street, and I'm thinking, I don't know why I got it, but I mean, it doesn't even have a view or privacy. I just don't understand, but yeah, it's just crazy around here.
Oh, trust me. I understand, because I do this all across the country, and some places it's just like, why is everything so expensive? Like, it doesn't even matter, like you're talking about view or what they're, it's just everything is so expensive.
That house that's for sale now, somebody bought it and redid the house. It's not even close to what it was like. I guess they upgraded it and it's very nice and they did everything top notch. But I mean, for a half acre, I don't see it. I mean, like, I'm just sitting back here on my street. Like, nobody comes back here unless you live back here,
Right.
And the people that live across the street, I think the people that bought the home that my friend sold, they must have kids, because I see they put a trampoline up.
You never know. They might enjoy the trampoline themselves.
Yeah, that's true. I have a swimming pool, of Doughboy. It needs a liner. I took the liner out last year, and it needs to be resanded, but there's a deck up around it.
So it's an above ground.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a nice display pool.
All right. Well, did you know you were going to sell your land today?
I did not, but my daughter, she's been so emotional about everything that she just, she's like, this is where I grew up, and she planted this palm tree from just the start, and it's huge, and she's just emotionally attached to this, memories with her dad, and it's just she's, you know, she knows I need to not have to do so much work. Like it's hard for me now, and so I'm just worried about her. That's the main thing because she, she graduates from high school and her dad gets killed 3-4 days later, and it's just been hard.
I understand, and hopefully, like I said at the beginning of this call, this will make things a little bit, at least alleviate, one of the things on your plate and make it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah, I just have to get rid of all this stuff, and now I have a great big huge jacuzzi that I haven't put in yet. It's here. I'm trying to sell it, but it's very nice. It's extremely nice.
I love it. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds here.
Okay.
Yeah. Find my title company that I want to use here.
I think when I tell my daughter, her knowing that you guys can help us in Texas is gonna make it a little bit better.
Well, yeah, and like I said, that would be. I would love to be able to have a company where Cassie and you and your daughter get on a phone call together, and y'all can really just talk about like what is it that she's looking for, what's the location, get all of her hopes and dreams out there, and then Cassie can kind of walk her through the process and get everything set up.
And she just bought her first car, and I think after taxes and everything, her income's gonna be like 45,000 a year down there. Which I don't know how that plays out, but like I said, if I can take money and give it to her to put on a home down there. I mean, literally, we're supposed to drive her down there next Tuesday, and she has not packed one thing. She is so stressed out, but they're working her every day, and they're sending her to Everett. They're sending her to way down south, almost to Portland, and then today she's in Tacoma. They just do you guys realize that? She normally works in Kent, which is just 15-20 minutes away from here.
Right.
And I'm like, when are you supposed to take care of your business?
What does she do again?
She's a talent acquisition manager for Laser Ship On Track. It's a shipping company. San Antonio.
Gotcha.
It's an East Coast company bought them out, and so she does all the hiring for the company. And even I'm going to be retiring, so even her having a place, and I was originally going to go towards Arizona. But if we get her a place in Texas, I'm good with that.
Well, we could also help you in Arizona if you change your mind there.
Yeah, I'm tired of the of this state is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, obviously, you're talking to a Texas boy, so
Yeah,
we.
my God, is totally weird. I'm in a union. I'm in a great union, and they say tell us to vote Democrat. Therefore, I'm like, no, I'm not. Put Trump back in office, and let's move forward.
I love it.
I mean, it's crazy because we kind of got to keep our opinions quiet here because everybody's Democrat.
Isn't it crazy that we live in a country now where we have to keep our opinions to ourselves if it doesn't
But yeah, my daughter, she's like, no, she'll tell you straight up. She's just, if we make it to January around here with not even more shit happening.
All right, you should have that contract in your email now.
Okay, let's see. I was just watching a thing. This girl, she's moving to a different state because she can't afford to live here. Okay, there we go. I got it. So review and sign. It's loading. So what do I do? Just click accept all. Oh, my daughter's messaging me right now. She's going to be happy, but I'm not going to say anything to her until we're done. So how do I find this?
Click a start button.
Create a signature. Well, I'm trying. Oh, signature.
My mouse died.
Not turning out very good.
Nothing's gonna stop me today.
Oh, that's terrible. Start over.
Oh, you're trying to draw your signature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And,
No. I can't just try one. I need batteries.
Does it work?
Not yet. So when you do the little signature, then you place it, and then when you're done signing, up at the top it'll say finish or complete sign. Yeah.
Okay, did you get it? Because it says thank you for submitting your document.
Well, I would tell you yes. Yes, I did get it. My mouse just died simultaneously of me sending this to you. So right now I'm trying to rapidly change the batteries on my mouse so I can see, but I can see it. Yes, you did send it, and it got it signed. There we go. I'm plopping a new battery here so I can have a mouse again.
Okay.
All right, we're good. Yes, I got the signature there. Got the contract back. So what we'll do now is these are the next stops. We're gonna send this off to the title company so they can start opening up title. And then, like I said, so the gentleman that is on my team that is specific for land, his name is Trent Bates, which I'm RJ Bates, but we are not related. Very strange. Some people must think he's like my brother or my son, but he's not. So he specializes in all of our land deals. So he'll be the one that's going to be working on some of those things that we talked about. He may even be the one that calls you to ask different questions if he has any or things like that. And then also the other person on the team that you might hear from would be Cassie, because of like what we were talking about with San Antonio and your daughter. She's my business partner, but she's also a licensed realtor. I am not a licensed realtor. So she would be the one that would help you guys out as far as moving to Texas and finding houses and stuff like that.
Awesome.
All right.
Maybe where is he in Texas?
Right here, Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay. How far is that from San Antonio?
We're about 4.5 hours.
Oh, so it's a little ways.
Yeah. Well, you know, Texas is as big as Europe, so.
Hopefully she can maybe have some things for us to look at when we come down there next week.
Well, yeah. If that's the case, what I'd love to do. You said when is your daughter? Does your daughter work tomorrow?
She does work tomorrow. She's working. She works all the way till Friday.
What time does she stop working?
Usually she gets done at 4:30 or 4 o'clock, but I think Friday she's going to Everett in the morning and she's leaving around noon.
Well, we could do after 4 o'clock. I mean, Cassie can call her anytime. I just want to have a conversation with like Cassie, you, and your daughter, so you know everybody can say, "Hey, this is what we're wanting to do here." Make sure we're on the same page, and then Cassie can start getting things lined up. And yeah, there are properties already available down there for sure, so we can definitely figure out a way to have stuff for you to look at.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I know she likes. If it's Lake Canyon or Canyon Lake, she likes that area.
Canyon Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right.
Well, and also, like I said, me and Cassie have done a ton of business down in San Antonio. Actually, funny enough, Cassie actually went down to San Antonio and lived down there for about a month when we were doing a significant amount of work down there. And she lived in San Antonio for almost a month. So it's not like it's just because we're far away. It doesn't mean we don't have knowledge of that area. We have pretty significant knowledge down there.
Awesome. That's great. My daughter will be happy for that. That might ease the pain a little bit of selling. Like,
right.
You know, it's going to be difficult for her. So,
well, maybe I'll let you have that conversation. Have a couple of days, with her, and then we could get that scheduled with Cassie. I'll probably have Cassie reach out to you just to introduce herself. And then get that call scheduled, okay?
Okay.
All right, Denise. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Looking forward to getting this deal done, and thank you for the recommendations on what to do in Seattle.
Okay, no problem.
All right, talk to you soon. All right,
Okay,
bye-bye. Boom, baby.